Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Ghost Mask Scar, a Japanese horror movie from 2018 that is actually set in South Korea. And this is a movie I've been wanting to see for years, primarily because it got some positive reviews coming out of its film festival run. It finally landed on streaming fairly recently, so I was keen on checking it out. The following plot synopsis was taken from the website JB Spins. Miyu has come from Japan to South Korea to find her sister, but it is unclear whether she wants to be found. The older sibling was always overshadowed by Miyu and Sei, the youngest, but a terrible misunderstanding brought her resentments to a boil. It is indeed significant she's never given a proper name. Miyu only refers to her as my sister and sis. Initially, she finds the city of Seoul to be an expensive and inhospitable place, but she seemingly catches a break when she meets Hana, a plastic surgeon. Forging a fast friendship, Hana invites Miyu to stay with her and her lover Hyo-shin, while Miyu continues to look for her sister. So this film is mostly a drama for much of the opening hour, with a few brief, spooky moments thrown in. Perhaps a bit slow in terms of pacing, but the character interaction and the development are quite good here. You know, there's a sisterly relationship, and it has multidimensionality to it. So when one particular sister perhaps emotionally hurts the other, it's mostly due to like negligence or slightly inconsiderate behavior that results in consequences that were unforeseen. You know, that's how I would describe the relationship. You know, and the animosity is mostly one way from like the sister who left, but the other one is a little bit clueless as to how she's negatively impacted her, and there's a little bit of bad blood between them because of this. Now, the film is pretty reliant on establishing this core drama, and it serves as the foundation for the horror that is yet to come. Now, there are a few coincidences and contrivances in this, mostly in how some characters run into each other by chance in a big city. But I enjoyed the story and dramatic setup quite a bit in this. The script also touches upon some topics that we've seen before in Japanese and Korean movies, namely plastic surgery. And it's not as creative or like refreshingly different as something like Time from 2006, but it does implement the topic in pretty effective ways. And while watching this film, I was expecting certain things to happen, and they do. But they happen by the midpoint. Like during the first half of the movie they happen, and are used as like a fundamental element to the story, instead of like trying to use them as plot twists. So I think that was the right decision in terms of like the script. Because if they wanted to make some of these things a big shocking twist, you know, most people could see it coming from a mile away. On the other hand, I was genuinely surprised at certain plot points that emerged later. For example, the finale references something that I was not expecting at all, and it was pretty cool. I'm a big fan of this particular thing, I'll just say, and I was impressed that they weaved that element into the film so nicely. Ghost Mask Scar definitely ends pretty strong, I think. But I will warn you that certain things will be, I guess, revealed in the trailer to the film, which I did not watch before watching the movie. I would advise you to not watch the trailer and don't look anything up on this film and just go into it blind. Another positive is that the horror does fly in pretty strong during the final third. It's pretty effective, and mostly because the dramatic foundations that are laid out during the opening, like 2/3 of the film, are used as like the basis for the horror itself, which is always a good strategy, right? Now, in terms of special effects, they mix in some practical and some CGI stuff. There's not a lot of CGI in this. There's only a little bit, and it's a little bit better than what you would typically see in a Japanese horror film. But I felt like there was really no reason to use any CGI in the film at all, so I consider it to be like a slight negative to this. But the final act is quite entertaining. Certainly, I think a lower budget flick, and there are a few little things that make it feel on the cheap side. One thing I noticed was like the sound design at times just felt a little stiff, I guess you could say, or flat. But on the other hand, it's actually nicely shot in spots with some effective use of bright white and yellow. Some of the sets have like bright white, almost clinical, which I don't know if they were like paralleling like a plastic surgery, like office or whatever, or like a hospital. You know what I mean? But that's a lot of bright white in this in the sets, and then some of the coloring with the lighting was like yellow in a lot of spots. But it looks good for a film at this budget level. And then the music has some pretty nice little piano beats that drop in and out, which I enjoyed. So I would say that, and the runtime also is only 1 hour and 20 minutes, so it's a very easy watch. So I recommend Ghost Mask Scar. If you're a fan of Japanese horror movies, this is a more recent one to check out that just got a streaming release recently on Amazon. So you could check it out pretty cheap. And if you have a Prime membership, I think it's free. So yeah, if anybody else decides to check this one out in the next few weeks for Halloween season, let me know what you think. I think most fans of Japanese horror will end up liking this one or finding something in it that they can appreciate. And as always, folks, I'll see you next time.